Board Offline. Today we are starting our top 40 in 40 minutes best games of all time. Now, last year we did 30. This year we're pushing it out to 40, and that's because we've played more games. We've got a bigger selection to choose from. I try to keep this around the top 20% of the games that I've played. So this year we can make it to 40. Now, before I get into the games and give you a few stats here, let's talk about our sponsor, Board Game Co. This is a fantastic website where you can buy, sell, and trade games. They have a great selection of games to choose from. If you just want to buy more games, just looking to build that collection out, they can definitely help you out with that. Alex is always getting great games into their warehouse, great games in stock, so be sure to check them out for that. If you want to get rid of some games, they will buy games from you as well. They have a great, thriving used game market over there. So be sure to check out how they do that. They have a great, easy to use system for buying games from their customers as well. And then of course, they will trade games with you. If you have a Board Game Geek username and you've set up a Board Game Geek account where you have a trade list set up over there already, you can then take your Board Game Geek username, drop it into Board Game Co. They'll compare your trade list with their stock and build a custom trade list that makes it very easy to then facilitate a trade. I highly recommend it. If you do check them out, click on the link in the description below so they know I sent you over there. Board Game Co. makes it easy to buy, sell, and trade your way into a better collection. Okay. So let's see, we have played in total throughout all the time since I've been keeping track of my plays, which has been since around April 2014-ish, somewhere in there, maybe June 2014. So essentially I missed like the first 2 years that or first year and a half I was playing hobby board games. We have 1,717 plays of 224 different games, and that is about 1,482 hours of playtime. And I have an H-index of 21. If you're not familiar with an H-index, that means I've played 21 different games at least 21 times. So that just gives you a little bit of an idea of the pool that I'm pulling from right there. Now, real quick, honorable mention, this game that I've got on the table here in front of me, Hadrian's Wall. If I had played this prior to making this list, this 100% would have been in my top 40 somewhere. I don't know exactly where it would have fallen, but you can absolutely expect to see it next year when I'll probably be able to push out to 50 games next year. But regardless, Hadrian's Wall will absolutely be on this list next year. If you are not familiar with it, definitely check it out. I have an unboxing already on the channel. Tomorrow I'll be filming a gameplay of Hadrian's Wall, so be sure to come back and check that out. Obviously it's not going to come up tomorrow, probably give it a couple days and it'll be published. Okay, so without anything else, let's get right into the list. So today we're going to be doing the first 10, 40 through 31, and of course with all of our lists we do it by the minute, so 10 minutes starts right now. All right, number 40 is The Others. Now this is a game from Cool Mini or Not, I believe, definitely from Eric Lang. One player plays one of the 7 deadly sins with all kinds of nasty minions that are, you know, whether it's corrupted people or, I mean, because you got all kinds of corrupted people. You got corrupted nuns, corrupted police officers, corrupted nurses, corrupted doctors, corrupted, I mean, just about everything you can think of. Corrupted gangsters, all kinds of stuff. And then there's like kind of a mini boss that you control if you're the sins, and then you have the actual sin itself. And then everybody else, up to 4 other people, play these half human, half corrupted, half demon sort of things that are running around trying to save the world from the manifestation of 7 deadly sins. Lots of dice rolling, tons of cool abilities, powers, and stuff like that. That's The Others, number 40. Number 39 is Sagrada. More dice rolling, completely different style of game. Sagrada is Lots of very, very colorful dice, which matters because where you have a board that you're trying to fill out with the dice based on what you roll, based on their colors, and you have different objectives where you might be trying to make different patterns. It's kind of simulating stained glass. And as you build out the board, you have very specific rules about what numbers and colors can go next to each other and all this kind of stuff. Very, very fun game, very thinky game, especially, as the first couple of turns, you kind of feel like, oh, I could just put these dice wherever. And then you quickly realize, no, you should have been thinking about it the whole time, because now you back yourself into a corner and you're not sure what you're going to do. Sagrada is so much fun to play. It has, and one of the cool things is the objectives have different difficulty levels on them, and you can kind of decide ahead of time if you're going to be trying to go for one of the harder ones or one of the easier ones. So it has like this self-leveling, or allows you to kind of level how difficult you're going to make the game on yourself. Number 38 is Mice and Mystics. Now this is one that's been in my collection for a very long time, and it's been quite a while since I've played it, but I really, really want to get this one back to the table. It's something that's been really stuck in my mind lately. But this is a cooperative dungeon crawl game, basically, except in this very, very family-friendly world where you are humans who have been turned into mice, and now you're trying to save the human kingdom from this witch or some queen or something that has taken over it, and you're working your way through, but she's turned her henchmen into rats and they're coming after you, and lots of dice rolling in this one as well, but lots of cool story and theme is really pumped into Mice and Mystics. Number 37 is Terraforming Mars. This one has fallen a little bit, fallen 15 spaces actually from 22 last year. It's just mainly because of more things that are above it, but Terraforming Mars is exactly what it sounds like. You are terraforming Mars. You are playing against other players trying to be the best corporation when it comes to getting Mars livable. And you're trying to get a certain amount of water, a certain amount of oxygen, and I think heat is the other factor there. You're getting all those things into livable ranges as you play the game, and lots of cool interactions between cards and then what you're trying to do and what you're putting on the board as you build out the Mars colony. Lots of cool stuff happening there. All kinds of interplay between these cards and how they function with the different planetary stats that you're trying to work with there. That's number 37, Terraforming Mars. Number 36 is Firefly the game. Now this one I haven't played forever, but it's another one that is just all of a sudden is really stuck in my head, and I think maybe it's because I've really been kind of nostalgic to go back and watch Firefly. And anyway, it's a pick up and deliver game, and it, especially when you get a couple, there's one expansion in particular, I can't remember the name of it, but when you stick that expansion in, the game really just brings the theme of the show and the movie Serenity to life, and you really feel like you're some of those characters from the show, and you're flying around in the verse, trying to complete these missions and watch out for the Reavers and watch out for whatever the other players are doing, and they're trying to get in your way or whatever. And this one is one that really has a lot to offer. It's a bit of a longer game, but it's not something that really bothers me that much, and I would love to get the opportunity to play this again. That's Firefly the game. Number 35 is Abyss. Absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous game, but it is basically, the theme is kind of there, but it's more about set collection and trying to get the sets of cards that you need to then get these nobles onto your side, and then those nobles help you get lands and help you gain these keys that help you get lands, and they are going to be worth points at the end of the game. Lots of cool stuff going on there. All the nobles have, I say nobles, they're not necessarily nobles, because some of them are farmers, but the leaders or whatever they're called. I can't remember exactly what the game refers to them as, but as you collect them, some of them just give you lots of points. Some of them have really, really cool powers. There's some that can like sabotage or kill off other leaders that other players have gotten, or cancel their abilities. You got, I think, 5 different factions Lots of cool stuff with Abyss. Number 34 is Architects of the West Kingdom. Now this is a worker placement game that turns, most worker placement games, you have a couple of workers to begin with and then you get more. This one you have a ton of workers at the beginning and then you're gonna be doling them out. And one of the cool things about it is as you put a worker out, the first time you put a worker down in a spot, the spot's gonna give you whatever it gives you. But then if you get another worker in there, then it's gonna be giving you some more stuff. And the more workers you get into a spot, because you can't pull your workers back off the board, the more workers you get into a spot, the better that spot's gonna be. And what's gonna happen is eventually the other players are gonna get tired of you getting such good stuff every time from that spot, and they're gonna arrest your guys, throw them into jail, and then you have to spend some time getting them out of jail. And that's one of the key mechanisms of this game that really makes it stand out from the others, is having all those workers and then taking everybody else's workers to jail and them getting them out. That's Architects of the West Kingdom. Number 33 is Xayah Legends of a Drift System. This is one that I'm so sad that I could never get anybody around me to play. I ended up selling it to help fund a trip to Origins, and so I don't have it anymore. But if anytime I was given the opportunity to play Xayah, I 100% would play Xayah. This is a space exploration game, but you're not in like a massive like flagship. You are in, like a Millennium Falcon style or size ship where it's you and a couple crew members or whatever. You don't really see the crew. It's basically you, and you're flying around. You can become a very aggressive player and fight other players and that sort of thing, or you can do pick up and deliver, or you can just try to complete missions. It's a real sandboxy game with lots of the tiles in this game are so gorgeous. Some of the best space artwork I've seen in a game. The stars are just, it's just a gorgeous looking game. Very high production value. That's Xayah Legends of a Drift System. Number 32 is Euphoria, Build a Better Dystopia. This is a dice worker placement game where your dice are your workers. And one of the key mechanism in this game that sets it apart from others is that when you roll your dice, the higher the number, usually the better, except the number also represents their knowledge. And since they're living in a dystopian society, you don't want their knowledge to be too high, because if people realize, the smarter somebody is, the more likely they are to realize they're living in a dystopia, and then that worker's gonna run away, and now you gotta recruit new workers. And so it's this balancing act with how many workers do you get, because you could have up to 4, but it's their combined knowledge that's going to be the problem when you roll the dice. And so how do you manage preventing you from rolling over whatever the cutoff is for knowledge at that particular time? And a really, really cool mechanism. I like it a lot. That's Euphoria, Build a Better Dystopia. And number 31, last one for today, is Spectre Ops. This is a hidden movement game. One person is an agent trying to take down the evil corporation Raxxon, and the other up to 4 players are agents of Raxxon. So one person is the saboteur, everybody else is working for the corporation, and they're trying to find that person. So the ones that are working for the corporation, obviously, they are on the board all the time. The hidden movement person, obviously not, and they're keeping track of where they are on this page. And then eventually, once the Raxxon guys find them, then they'll be on the board as well. But unless you lose sight of them, and then they come off the board. And you keep track on your paper, and you try to complete a couple of objectives, 2 or 3 objectives, and then, which is really just, hey, go to this point, flip it over, go to this point, flip it over. That's what the objective is. And then you got to get off the board before they catch you. Don't ever play this game. Don't ever play Spectre Ops with the full 5 people, because if you do, the 4th agent or the 4th Raxxon person is a traitor, and once it becomes clear they're a traitor, they really don't have a whole lot to do in the game anymore. So play with 4 people total, 1 sneaky person, and 3 Raxxon employees. That's Spectre Ops, number 31. So there you go. There's the first 10 games in our top 40 best games of all time. Please keep coming back. When we get into our top 10, we're gonna have a giveaway, so be sure to come back and check that out. Nothing major, but it is gonna be a cool giveaway. I've got some stuff that I've been kind of putting off on a shelf that we're gonna give away that we'll see. Now, always check out our top 10s, because we are gonna try to start putting at least a small giveaway in every top 10. Not the top 3s that I do every month, but the top 10s. So be sure to come back, check it out. We're gonna work our way through this. Hopefully I get the whole series out by the end of May. Might go over into June a little bit. We'll see. And until next time, if you're bored online, bored offline.